Today I'm going to be showing you Pablo, my Colombian rainbow boa, and I'm going to be showing you my blue-tongued skink. So here is Pablo. Pablo is about a year and a half, maybe 2 years old. And I don't know how well it'll show up on camera with no flash, but he has got a brown base. Yes, hello, you're super friendly. He's got a brown base and his scales are iridescent. So that means they shine like a rainbow. So I don't know, is it actually coming up on camera right now? It's probably not. I'll attach some videos of it with the flash on. But he is a gorgeous snake and he's super friendly. And he's really nice, aren't you? You are. I know, I woke you up early. I'm sorry. We're having a staring contest and I'm not going to win because he doesn't have eyelids. So, Colombian rainbow boas are, very obviously, from Colombia. Big difference between the Colombian rainbow boa and anyone else's tubs is the fact that with himself he has dirt. Now this is bioactive dirt, which means that it's got living things in it. He's got little bugs and he's got a bit of mold, and he used to have mushrooms, but I think he squished them. And this part here, I can't point anymore, he's taken my, I'm pointing with his head. That stuff there and that stuff there is shed skin that he is after getting rid of, and some of the little bugs and stuff in the dirt have...
Oh, he's rainbowed around his neck.
Oh, is he rainbowed up now?
A little bit here and there.
If it doesn't come up on video properly, I'll check it in a minute, and if it doesn't, sure, I'll put in some videos I took of him after he'd freshly shed, because when they've just shed, they're really bright and really shiny, and he's got a gorgeous glow to him. It looks like when the sun hits oil, you know, the rainbowy sort of look, that's what he looks like. So he's in a setup like this because these guys have got a far more humid setup. He has a plastic tub here just for trapping the humidity, so when the water evaporates it hits the roof and goes back down, and he's got a little sort of a drinking bowl that I'm going to be replacing for a bigger one, like a little bath, when I upgrade this tub. So this tub is a temporary tub because I've only gotten him recently. So what you do is when you get new reptiles, you have to make sure they're healthy, because they're not like dogs and cats where you'll be able to look at them and be like, they're not feeling well or they're moving too slow and stuff like that. These guys tend to not move all that much anyway. So you can't just do it like that. You have to just leave them for about a month or two in a tub setup like this temporarily, so that if they get sick, it doesn't go to any of the others. So he's in this and it's only got air holes in it and that is all. And when I handle him away from everyone else to make sure that if he does have something that I don't know about, that he doesn't accidentally spread it. So I've had, for example, I've had a snake in the past. I had a corn snake who had mites. And mites, they're kind of like when a cat or dog gets fleas or ticks. These guys can get little mites, and they're little tiny black bugs, and what they do is they hide under their scales and they drink their blood. And obviously you don't want that to be all over the place because it's not healthy for them. So I had to get rid of those, but they spread to a different guy because they were near each other and it was a disaster. So this is the best thing to do. You quarantine them, just like we're quarantining. Pablo is in quarantine as well. I know, bud. Whoop. So, I can see the rainbow really clearly and I'm really sad if you can't. Oh, you can? Perfect. So, Pablo here is super, super nice. He is one of the tamest new snakes I've ever gotten. Usually a snake, when they're going to a new home, they're really skittish and they're afraid because they don't know who you are and they don't know if you're going to try to eat them. And obviously I'm not going to try to eat you, so he is super tame. He's really, really nice. He likes to dig. You can see his nose is really pointy in comparison to everyone else's and all the other snakes I have. All the others, they have the ball python, he has like a shovel-shaped head, and the corn snakes have really round noses. He has a really pointy nose because he likes to hide under his dirt and he likes to crush any plants I give him. He crushes them and hides in them. So that's why there's none in here. They've all died. Pablo is on the same sized rats as Noodle because he's got a much thicker body. You'll see, it's not super thick, but he's got a thick enough body. It's way thicker than the corn snakes were. He's hello. I just love him. I think he's great. He's honestly, I'd say he's my favourite snake. Don't tell the others. But he's honestly my favourite snake. He's lovely. He's just so pretty. And he's so tame and nice. Say hello to the peoples. Yes. Pablo says hello. He's just so nice, aren't you? You are. And he does exactly the same thing as the others, where he sticks out his tongue to taste the air to figure out what's going on. Oh, it's dirt. I thought he might. So I was like, no, please. Pablo is a male, and he's around 1.5 or 2 years old. And what I'm hoping to do is, these guys aren't all that common to come across, especially in Ireland, but I'm hoping someday that I'll find himself a girlfriend, because I would love to breed these guys and have tiny baby rainbows slithering around the place upstairs. Oh, I'd love it. I think it'd be great, because currently I breed the leopard geckos and I'm breeding the cresties and the corns next year, but I would love to have rainbow boas, because I just think they're beautiful, especially if you'd a setup with like lights. If you've live plants, you tend to have lights that mimic the sun, so the plants can photosynthesize and they can live, but those lights would make him glow up really, really nicely, and you'd see the rainbows all the time, and oh, I think it'd be just really, really pretty. Right, so Pablo's tub, I mentioned the fact that they need high humidity. Humidity is basically the amount of water that's in the air. It's not the water on the ground, and it's not rain, but it's the in-between. So like, you know, on the really foggy morning you go out, it might be a little bit more difficult to breathe. That's because there's a lot of water in the air. So that's humidity. Fog is nearly 100% humidity, whereas what Pablo needs is roughly 60 to 80% humidity, which is why there's condensation on the edges all around here. He also likes to drink his condensation, so he takes that real pointy snoot and he finds a droplet on the side and he slurps it up. Even though he has a water bowl, he's finicky and picky, but we love him all the same for it. It's grand. But yeah, humidity helps them when they're shedding. So it's like, let me think of an example. I can't think of an example. Basically, humidity helps them with shedding because it loosens the skin and it makes it easier for them to like slither out of it. But if they didn't have any humidity at all, the skin gets really dry and it gets stuck to them. When I first got Pablo, he had a load of skin stuck to him, and I had to give him a bath, and I had to basically roll it down off him, where I had to go like this along his body to get the skin to get off. And you'll see there's some parts of his scales that look a little bit iffy. They look dented or they look a little bit crooked, and that's because of the fact that the dry shed was stuck to them, and when I was taking it off it damaged them just a little bit. But he's mostly fine. It's very difficult to see them. For example, that scale there is really, it's off, but I don't know if you'd recognize it unless you knew what you're looking for, if you get me. But no, he's got a few scales off, but if he just sheds a few more times, he will completely repair himself. So when they shed, it's a brand new layer of skin, and please let go of the side of the box, sir. There we go. It's a brand new layer of skin, and anything that was damaged underneath, like cuts or scabs and that sort of stuff, it'll just heal over and it'll be brand new. Hello. It's like when you have a scab and you get rid of it and this sort of pinkish skin underneath. It's like they did that to their entire body all at once. Hello. I didn't expect you over there. That's pretty much everything about himself, and he's trying to escape again in ordinary snakish fashion. Get back in. Thank you. And yeah, that's just himself, and he is a Colombian rainbow boa, and I think they're great. Is my blue-tongued skink. He is, we think he's roughly 3 or 4 years old, but the person I got him off wasn't 100% sure. He's great, but he's not very happy. These guys can be notoriously grumpy, and they hiss a lot, but they're really cool because they have blue tongues. I'm not sure if you can see, but when he sticks out his tongue, they do the same thing snakes do where they sniff the air, but their tongue is a really bright blue. Of course, as soon as I say it, he's not going to stick out his tongue. There we go. So, this guy, his name is SCP-3011, and we think he is a he. So it's very difficult to determine whether or not skinks are male or female because there's no visual characteristics. Like with peacocks, the really bright ones are the males, whereas the brown ones are the females. And that sort of stuff. These guys don't have that. So I'm assuming that he's a he, but I'm not 100% sure. These guys are pretty easy to take care of because they're big, so they need a big enclosure. However, they eat dog food. So dog food, the wet kind you get in pouches, is the exact, it's got the exact same stuff that they need to live. So they're meat eaters, but they also eat veg, so they're omnivore. And most dog foods tend to be, say, duck, and then it'll have potato and peas or carrots in it. And that's exactly what these guys need. So he eats once a week to twice a week in winter because he needs to, or just before winter because they hibernate and they need a little extra fat on them. And they have really stubby legs, so he won't go too fast and too far. Come here, bud. I know. Look, come here. Just so you don't fall off and die. Okay? I know. Sorry, yes, food. They need meats and vegetables as their diet, so they really like, dog food is like a perfect diet for them because it has everything they need. He's currently trying to hide in my hands because these guys dig and they're a bit shy, so that's why he's trying to hide beside me, because he doesn't like the phone, he doesn't like the camera. But he'll learn to live with it, won't you? There we go. It's not that bad. So these guys are very obviously lizards, and like everyone else that I've shown you, these guys need, now he thinks it's food, these guys need heat. So this guy, he has a heat lamp, and if you see from above, he looks kind of like a pancake. He looks like a sausage actually. He mainly looks like a sausage. But when they sit in the sunlight, what they do is they actually can flatten themselves out to about here, and they turn into like a disc. And when they're disc shaped, they can take all the sun and they can soak it all up and get more heat. They flat themselves, like we do sunbathing. You just lie out in the sun and let the heat heat you up. So this guy is what's called a halmahera. And a halmahera, it's not a morph, but it's like a subspecies. So the subspecies of halmahera, they have checkered bellies and they have black legs. Blue-tongued skinks have blue tongues because they use it to scare away predators or to scare away other blue tongues that are trying to take over their territory. What they do is they open their mouth really wide and they stick their tongue out as far as they can. And the blue colour and the defensive stance scares away anything that would be causing them any trouble. So that's my Colombian rainbow boa and my blue-tongued skink. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask your leaders and I'll do my best to help. Thanks for watching.